Well, it's 7:45 West African time, and this is Daybreak. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, Nupeng, has confirmed that its strike will begin today, Monday, September 8, 2025, despite opposition from other tanker drivers group. In a statement on Sunday, the union says driver will stop work as planned, dismissing claims from rival association that the strike is unnecessary and could worsen economic difficulties. Nupeng described these groups as unauthorized bodies trying to weaken its ranks. The strike follows a dispute with Dangote Refinery over the unionization of the tanker drivers, with Nupeng directing members not to load petroleum products from today until issues are resolved. Now, for more on the crisis, the planned strike, which is expected to take off anytime from now, we have live feeds coming from Lagos just to see what the situation is. So we have live feeds from Lagos. You could see the skylines, motorists moving. It seems the vehicular traffic is a bit light, indicating that the usual Monday hustling and bustling is not really captured here. But one would have expected to see a rallying point with the Nupeng officials driving the move for the protest today. But I spoke with the president of the Nupeng, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, just tonight, just to confirm if the strike will be holding. And he gave me a categorical affirmation that yes, the strike will be holding. But I wonder, because he also disclosed to me that he will be boarding a 7 a.m. flight to Abuja this morning. But the issue has been a rather very complicated one between the Dangote Refinery, along with his cousin, the owner of the MRS Oil, Safiu Aliu Dantata, over issues of unionization, which is posing a threat to the Nigerian Union of Petroleum Natural Gas Workers of Nigeria. So when you look at the situation, it appears they are alleging that the Dangote Group have been recruiting a lot of tanker drivers, petroleum tanker drivers, and calling it direct truck drivers to avert, to shield them from joining the union, and thereby hijacking the petroleum distribution refinery value chain in the country, which the Nupeng is not taking that lightly. They have called it the move an attempted slavery of the union. So when you look at it, Dangote Refinery is a high-cost, high-stake venture that several billions of naira, precisely $20 billion, has been invested in this venture. And the Nigerian government also cannot afford for that investment to fail. It will it will cause a ripple effect in the economy. Likewise, Dangote himself, as a business investor wouldn't accept that option. And we have the banks too that have also invested their money in way of loans into this venture. So the laws are clear, and I think that in all fairness, we have the Petroleum Industry Act. When we look at Section 32 of the Petroleum Industry Act, which empowers the Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum authority to ensure competition and also to promote private sector participation and engagement in the sector. And that, if you look at the implication of that, they are set to fully deregulate the industry and create a free market economy. And also the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority is empowered to investigate any, I beg your pardon, any dominant force that may be creating a bit of some kind of form of restriction in the sector. So these are the issues, and we have it's also interesting to know that Nigeria is a signatory to the International Labour Convention of 1948. And when you look at number 87 of this convention, it clearly guarantees the freedom of association and the right to protect the organization of such. So and also the fact that they are also alleging, it still remains in the realm of allegation that Dangote Refinery made the newly recruited tanker drivers to sign a non-disclosure clause. So the issue of the ethical viability, the ethical acceptability of this claim is also being questioned. When we look at the Labour Act, the Nigerian Labour Act, Section 9, subsection 2, it clearly gives the right for any worker and protects the worker from being penalized on their decision to on membership or non-membership of trade unions. So it's a very exciting one. We come to a close watch with the economic realities in the country. As such an investment has been made, I think that is the way to go for the petroleum future in Nigeria, where a lot of people can participate and thrive. Nigeria is an oil-producing country, so there is no reason why we could not maximize the opportunities in this sector. Vimbai?
Absolutely. Okay, Benga, thank you so much for that and a very robust analysis. And, you know, if you're just tuning in, we're looking at live images from Lagos, where we're positioned at some filling stations around town, just to get a general sense of whether there will be compliance. Benga, you've already given fantastic, insight and background, but it looks like there is no compliance so far. Of course, this is just a sample study of one filling station. Looks like so far NNPC is ignoring the strike. Of course, we do know that NNPC itself is not a member of Petroan, but the pump attendants themselves would be members of Nupeng. It looks like they're on duty, although we're not seeing them wearing uniform. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening across the rest of the country. But for now, for what we're seeing in Lagos, little to no compliance to the strike. Seems to be business as usual. We'll keep you up to speed with this as the day goes further. However, let's bring our conversation back to our final takes here on some of the big stories today that broke. I believe each one of us is going to take about a minute to round up the stories that struck. I'll begin with the Punch newspaper. What struck me were comments from the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso, who is sat at a conference with the European Business Chamber C-Level Forum. And he said that he sees significant stability, and he says that there's an opportunity for interest rates to come down. Now, this is a very important development because we know that there's been a lot of pressure from small to medium enterprise with regards to the interest rates just being unbearable. Now, this, I believe, is a direct correlation of the fact that the government said that they won't be lending from the local banks anymore because the government was putting pressure on the local banks by borrowing from them. And now we see that the interest rates might come down slightly as inflation is high, but it's easing. So we're going to look forward to seeing if that's going to transpire at the next MPC. It would be a very welcome development for the business community.
Definitely. And since we're on Punch, we're just going to stay on Punch there because Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan's lawyer has said that she is ready to resume in the National Assembly once their break is over on the 23rd of September. That is because her 6-month suspension has now elapsed. Importantly here, when the 10th Assembly was inaugurated on the 12th of June 2023, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan was not part of the members there because she came later. Her constituents have been disenfranchised. And I think that is what we need to focus on as Nigerians. Importantly, there is a bill in the National Assembly by Honorable Mansur Manusoro, who wants us to amend the Constitution to regulate the process of suspending a member of the National Assembly to mitigate abuse of the regulations and procedures. This is to make sure that Nigerians constituents do not suffer whether their elected members are suspended or not. However, we're going to see what happens in the Red Chamber when Senator Natasha resumes on the 23rd.
Just 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
That's really going to be very interesting. Looking at Natasha that had fought and put in so much in this fight, would he now be accepting the conditions from the leadership of the Senate, or would he still? Because now we'll be watching if she will be accepting that sitting arrangement amidst many other issues at stake in the National Assembly.
Definitely. I mean, she already accepted it before she was suspended. That's the seat they suspended her from.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for here.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for here on Daybreak today. It's a goodbye from me. I'm Bambai Mutiniri Ekbayong. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I am Adeswa Giwal-Sage. Make sure you keep it here on Arise News because the morning show is up next.
And I'm Gbenga Ashuru saying, do have a most pleasant day. Goodbye.